telling McGarry if I was going to tell it or not. But just back here, in the month of August, I went on a missions trip on my way to Africa. And on the airplane, before I landed in Africa, I started bleeding. I started bleeding, and I didn't want to tell my wife. I was passing blood, and I knew I was sick. We landed in Africa on Tuesday. I was sick, and I still hadn't told her. But on Wednesday, it became too much for me. And so I had to tell her I'm not doing good. I'm bleeding from my body. And we went on with the rest of the day. By the time Wednesday night came, I had no strength in my body. I was passing out in the red, beautiful African soil. They brought me back home early Thursday morning. They woke up, I couldn't get out the bed. They said, we gotta get him to the hospital. I'm giving you a short version. They took me to the hospital. When they got me in there, your hemoglobin level ought to be 17. 14 is good. 10 is questionable. 7, they keeping you. But when I got to the hospital, my hemoglobin level was 6.2. I was bleeding, and now I was throwing up blood, passing blood. I was laying in the hospital from the morning to the evening. In the evening, the doctor came in, looked at my wife with worry on his face. He said, your husband's blood level has dropped to 5.2. I'm at 5.2, and I'm bleeding. And then he told my wife, he needs a blood transfusion. And then he told my wife, we don't have no blood for him. It got serious right then. I went from bleeding to dying. I'm laying there dying in the hospital over in Africa. They took me and said, we're going to transfer you to the main hospital. They sent me to the main hospital. When I got there, the main hospital emergency doctor looked at me and said, I don't know why they sent you here. We told them when they called us there was nothing we could do for you. And they put me back in the ambulance and sent me back to the hospital where I came from. I'm laying there bleeding. I'm dying over in Africa. My wife got on the phone, called back to the States, got in touch with my mama. Mama called the bishop. Bishop told everybody. Folks started praying everywhere. Pastor Sabawo, come here, man, there he is. He brought the church into my bedroom. They surrounded me and they went to praying. It was so bad that the doctors came in. The doctor said, can we pray? It got so bad to the hotel staff. They came over and said, can we pray? It got so bad to the security guard in the parking lot. He came in and said, can we pray? The saints was praying in Africa and in America. I don't know what happened. I don't know who God talked to, if it was Gabriel or Michael. But Thursday night, they told us we have no blood. But Friday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, the doctor came in the room, told one of my preachers, said his blood will be here in 1 hour. Overnight, I went from dying to living because of the blood. I wish you would shake somebody's hand and tell them it's power. Power. I got to get out of here. They got my blood back up to 7.2. They let me go from that hospital. I came home to America. When I got here, my blood dropped back down to 6.2. I was back in the hospital, laying there on my back, getting depressed. God, why'd you let this happen to me? God, why'd I have to go through this? God, why did you let me live? God, why do I have to live? I wish you had took me on home. I don't want to have to go through this. I was talking to God. They let me out the hospital. And after they let me out the hospital, I went home, and the first call I got was from a friend of mine who's an undertaker. Tell somebody, God will test you. And the undertaker said, Reverend, I came up with a great idea. We're going to put our funeral home on one side of the fan, and we're going to put you and your wife on the... I wasn't ready to go to the other side like I thought. And so they made these fans. After that, we had our family conference, and I was out of the States. So I didn't get a chance to see the programs before they were printed. But when I got home and looked at the program, the front was beautiful. The inside was spectacular. But I turned it over, and it was blank. I started getting ready to get upset. Why would we print programs and the backside be blank? But I didn't say anything. I got the funeral home fan, and I got a blank program. And while I was sitting there, the Lord spoke to me, Bishop Daniels, and said, you don't get it, son, do you? I said, well, Lord, what is it? He said, look at the fan. You could have been in the funeral home, but I didn't let that happen. He said, look at your program. On the front was my picture. On the back was a blank side. And he said, you don't get it, do you? I said, yes, Lord, what is it? He said, son, the reason why you're still here is because you're an unfinished program. If I was done with you, I would have let them take you out of here. But I still got some stuff for you to do. I wish you would look at your neighbor and tell him, neighbor, he's not the only one. You're an unfinished program. God's got more for you. Get yourself together. Quit crying and whining about the stuff you're going through. Quit treating God like he's not able. Throw your hands up and give God glory and believe God until he brings you out of it. If God didn't want you in it, he could have taken you out. But the only reason God let you go through it is because he knew that you had the goods to withstand the test. And remember what he said, there's no temptation that's taken you but such as is common to man. But with every temptation, God has given you a way of escape. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I do know you're coming out of it. Even if you think you're not coming out, yes you are. You ought to throw up your hands and shout, yes I am. I'm coming out. And when I come out, I'm going to be dancing. And because I know that it's bringing me out, I'm not going to wait till the battle is over. But somebody shout, somebody shout, somebody dance, somebody bless him, because the worst is over, and the best is yet to come. Oh, preacher, give him glory. Oh, pastor, get your dance on. God is not through using you. Shout glory, shout glory, shout glory, shout glory. you said, I can't make it no further. But God brought me here tonight to tell you whatever you do, don't you dare, don't you doubt the power of God. I'm going to call you out. If you need more strength, you're in need of deliverance, I want you to run on down here to this altar. We got men and women of God. They're going to lay their hands on you. Deliverance is coming on you. You're not going home from the convocation the same way you came. Make your way through the aisles. Run on down from the back. Run on down from the side. Tell the folk, I need some prayer. I need a little more Jesus. I need a little more strength. I need a little more deliverance. I need a little more help. The pressure of school, the pressure of the family, the pressure of the job, the pressure of my bills. They're about to make me lose my mind. But from this night forward, I won't doubt the power of God. He gonna bring me out. You in your seats. Grab your neighbor by the hand and tell him, neighbor, help me praise God. Deliverance is in the room. I just believe God's getting ready to do it for you. I just believe he's getting ready to turn that thing. I just believe he's making a way for you.
While the Lord is moving,